First off, every month or so I do a Netflix recommendations kind of thing to give you stuff to watch on Netflix that I have watched, that I enjoy, things like that. I think I might be repeating a few titles on there. Apologies, but they're all pretty good titles and you should check them out. I also have help from my friend Cineram, who will be featured later in this video. First off, I watched E.T. recently with my daughter. She really liked it. It was a really amazing experience, and it is the original version of E.T. with the guns, not the walkie-talkies. If you're ever, I know people get apprehensive, particularly about E.T. because that got the special edition treatment, but if you ever wanted to watch E.T., it is on Netflix in the version that people fell in love with. They also, and this Cineram told me about actually, they have Batman Mask of the Phantasm. I forget if I've recommended this before, but Batman Mask of the Phantasm, so we were just talking about a Batman short, is, in my opinion, the best big screen version of Batman ever. I didn't actually check out if this is in the 4:3 version that it should be, or the theatrical widescreen version, which is actually the incorrect aspect ratio that they had to blow it up to play in theaters. Regardless, if you've never seen Batman Mask of the Phantasm, get on that. It's amazing. I've also, with my wife, and we actually finished today, the show Dark. It is like a cool kind of time travel German show. It's actually pretty neat. My wife's really into it. I don't know if I'm as into it as she is, but I still really liked it. It gets really weird. It gets really strange. But if you enjoy time travel stuff, it's sort of interesting. One of the things I really think about it is when you look at what Stranger Things does with the 80s, it takes like these acid tests and makes it mean something and makes that the whole big emphasis of the 80s, whereas Dark kind of lives in a post-Chernobyl world, and it kind of shows you a more European perspective on the 80s rather than the 80s perspective we get from Stranger Things. I think you don't necessarily need to look at it as a juxtaposition to Stranger Things, but I like what it does with like time travel and kind of the total weirdness it gets in. I know a lot of kind of like art movie Facebooks have said like this is the weird, real cool, crazy show, but the casting in terms of the actors who play like the same role who are older and younger is really amazing, really great. I think the acting's really good. You can get really into like the whole ideas of like who's the father of this person, how did this thing happen, how did this, like you can get into all the theories. There's podcasts on it. It's actually a really cool show, and I've seen all of it, and I quite enjoyed it. So if you've never seen Dark and you like time travel stuff, that would be good. It also has one of the best, oh thank you KSV, it also has one of the best documentaries I've seen this year, which is The Last Dance. I really like The Last Dance a lot. I considered doing a review of it. I didn't. Maybe I regret that. The moment's kind of gone, but I really enjoyed watching that when it premiered on ESPN. I'm not a big sports person at all, but I like their 30 for 30s, and The Last Dance is genuinely one of the best things I've seen this year. You should definitely check that out. Animal Crackers is on Netflix. I don't necessarily really like it, but the director commented on both my review and Saber's review, and on my Twitter. I don't know about Saber's Twitter. I don't remember that part, but he was very cool about, despite the fact that neither of us gave it positive reviews. It was very nice. So if you've wanted to see Animal Crackers and heard about it, it is on Netflix as well. So I'll recommend it. I'm also going to recommend Spaceballs. It's one of my favorite Mel Brooks films. It's kind of dumb, but it's on there. They also have a Zodiac, which I'm sure you should check out, especially if Mank's coming out this year. It's the one that people previously consider one of Fincher's best. They also have Mean Streets, which is one of Scorsese's best and one of his early kind of big kind of movies. And since we're on a Spielberg kick, and I've watched a lot of Spielberg. I got to watch E.T. and Close Encounters in Close Proximity since I did Firestar recently, the Lost Spielberg first film. But Poltergeist is another great film that's on Netflix, the 80s one, not the newer one. Drive, which was to me one of the best films I've seen of the 2010s. It's definitely on my top 10 there, and I love Drive. I need to rewatch it. It's been a while. Kind of a nice B Stallone film before he really became a huge action star with Billy D. Williams, called Nighthawks, is actually on Netflix. I'm going to recommend that, believe it or not. And Splice, which is from the director of Cube, I believe. I think that's true. It's a kind of a weird body horror, kind of genetic experimentation film that you should definitely check out. You probably guessed that I'm going to put this in there because I talked about it last time, but Unsolved Mysteries, I think it is a great, worthy reboot follow-up to the original series. I thought they did a really good job of recontextualizing for the new kind of making more of a documentary series rather than a news magazine series. I thought they did a really good job. And finally, Uncut Gems. If I've recommended this before, I'm sorry, but it is a really great movie, and Adam Sandler is really great in it, and the Safdie brothers did a great job. Now, let's go to Cineram and his Netflix recommendations. I know he has a lot of good ones and ones that I didn't say specifically because I want Cineram to tell you about them. And thank you very much for Cineram for doing this. Please subscribe and check out his channel.
Hi everyone, Scott here, my channel Cineram, and thanks to Jim for having me on to talk about Netflix recommendations. He invited me to submit a few of my own. I appreciate it very much. A couple of Netflix recommendations that are exclusive to Netflix, meaning they aren't really available anywhere else unless they get a limited theatrical release or one of those special Criterion editions like Marriage Story. The Kindergarten Teacher has been on for a couple years. Maggie Gyllenhaal is the main character. She has a class of 5-year-olds that she's teaching, and one of the kids in her class seems to have an incredible talent for poetry, really good moving poetry, that she wants to encourage. And in doing so, she ends up crossing quite a few ethical and, in some cases, even legal lines in order to get this kid's poetry noticed by other people. She thinks of him as sort of a modern-day Mozart, a kid who's, inspired to create all kinds of incredible things. As long as, he has the right environment to do so. She begins doing some very bad things to do that. Questionable things and illegal things, and I sat there going, you're going to ruin your life. Please don't do that. Please don't. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I like Maggie Gyllenhaal a lot, have for a long time, and this is a good one for her. Also on Netflix exclusively is The Old Guard, which just came out a couple weeks ago. Probably heard of this one. Charlize Theron's the main character. It's based on a comic book, and she is leading a group of immortals, people who can't die. They get injured, but they heal very quickly, and they've lived for centuries, if not longer. They're basically a team of mercenaries, soldiers for hire. And then they discover that one of their clients is actually out to capture them and study them because he has learned their secret. He's learned that they've lived for a really long time. He wants to know why. That's Chiwetel Ejiofor. He's a former CIA agent. This is a really fun movie. I was looking for summer escapism. Can't get it in the movie theater right now, but there's a lot of good fight scenes and action set pieces in this one. It's pretty exciting. There's some good twists. A lot of the characters are really great. So yeah, it's a strong recommendation for me for The Old Guard. So about 5 years ago, we had a movie comedy come out called Sleeping with Other People with Jason Sudeikis and Alison Brie. They had a hookup in college, and then about 15 years later, they meet when they're both living in New York City. And they start hanging out and talking with each other about their dating life and their hookups as they go. Very much like When Harry Met Sally, very much like that quite a bit. Sudeikis and Brie, they're both really good improvisers. Their banter is really great. There are a lot of fun supporting characters as well, but it's pretty much their show all the way, and they're great. I saw this movie when it was new. I really liked it, but I haven't seen it since. I watched it like a couple days ago, and I'm like, this is a terrific movie. So definitely want to check that out if that's your bag. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which I'm sure you're familiar with, is on Netflix right now. That is the Charlie Kaufman scripted film. He also wrote Being John Malkovich and a couple of other interesting films, of course. The director, Michel Gondry, did a bunch of music videos that I really liked in the 90s. Very, very creative visually, and this movie is also very creative because it takes place largely inside Jim Carrey's brain. He has asked a company to erase memories of his ex-girlfriend Kate Winslet, but when he realizes he doesn't want to forget her, he's running around inside his own head, trying to save any memories of her that he can. Like a very visually striking movie, a lot of good camera trickery. Tom Wilkinson and Kirsten Dunst and Mark Ruffalo and Elijah Wood are all in this as well. It's a really great movie, one of the best movies of 2004. And finally, I'd like to remind everyone that 30 years ago, Total Recall came out this summer, 30 years ago, and it's one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movies, my personal favorite of the film that he's been in. Forget about the Colin Farrell PG-13 version. Stick with Arnie and the extreme, bloody, Paul Verhoeven violence of the original. Arnold's a guy who is just basically a regular guy living in futuristic America, and he wants to go on a vacation to Mars. So he goes to a company to try and get memories, fake memories of a vacation that he never took implanted, and then things go haywire from there. He discovers he's actually some other guy, and that his memories that he thought were real were actually fake. And he gets running around, and guys are trying to kill him, and it's a big action movie, and it's lots and lots of fun. Paul Verhoeven's a very dynamic action director. The photography and editing are all top drawer. The score is by Jerry Goldsmith is also terrific. One of my favorite opening credit sequences with the theme music there. Been a longtime favorite of mine, and it's on Netflix right now, so check it out if you're so inclined. Also, I'd just like to suggest that a few movies that are leaving Netflix at the end of the month, at the end of August, you may want to check out before that happens. Clueless, Groundhog Day, Tootsie, V for Vendetta, and The Karate Kid. Those are all really good films. I want to check those out before they go. And, of course, seeing how it's believed at this point in the live stream, it's after midnight. That means that right now it's Jim's birthday. So everybody say happy birthday to Jim if you haven't already. He might have already mentioned something. I'm pre-recording this. I don't know. I'm guessing that it's not after midnight right now on the East Coast. But Sunday is Jim's birthday, so wish him a happy birthday. Jim, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. And thanks again for having me on your channel to talk about Netflix recommendations. Appreciate it very much. Thanks again to you all for listening. Take it easy.
Thank you very much, Cineram, and thank you for the happy birthday wishes. That's very nice of you. Anyway, please, again, subscribe to Cineram's channel. He's very nice to do these Netflix recommendations videos once a month. That's very cool of him, and he produces great content. I love his channel, and we've known each other for a long time because, I don't know, I love his take on movies and everything like that, and he's a nice person. He's a good guy. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope we gave you something cool to